even though we may be professionals in our field, we aren't offering therapeutic advice through this show. So if you need that, please reach out to us. We'd like to get you pointed in the right direction wherever you may live.
All right, so can I go in? Are we still
Live?
How many people are watching?
One so far.
Who is it?
Your Uncle Sean.
Hey, Uncle Sean.
Sean Garnett, who is Cousin Flippa on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Shut the front door. We got a Hawaii 5-0er watching us on Facebook Live right now?
Yeah.
New Hawaii 5-0 or old
New.
Hawaii? He's on this Hawaii 5-0. My parents watch Hawaii 5-0 every Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Fridays, right?
Your mom watches it for a reason.
It's my favorite show. Oh, now we're going to tell jokes about my mom? Wait a second here. This is the way this works. We talk about Tyler's mom and Tyler's mom only on the Alpha Quorum podcast, and that's it.
If you're a man that controls his own destiny, a man that is always in the pursuit of being better, you are in the right place. You are responsible. You are strong. You are a leader. You are a force for good. Gentlemen, you are the Alpha, and this is the Alpha Quorum.
Hey, it's Sunday night. It is, what time is it? What's the date today? December 16th?
Yep.
9 days till Christmas. Woo. Sunday night, it's Alpha Quorum time. I know you're looking at the timestamp or the length of this episode right now as you're thinking, man, what's going on? Is this an alphabet? You all right, Jeremy?
Wow.
You okay?
I was trying to do what Tyler asked me to do, and I just didn't want to do it.
No, wait a second. Jeremy's decided this is a good time to watch YouTube. Let me know when you're done with that video.
I'm
and we
watching
go back
Tyler
to
right now.
You're watching
live
Tyler?
on
Okay.
Facebook Live.
Wait, it's Sunday night. It's Alpha Quorum night. I'm your host, Derik, husband J.L. Johnson. Jeremy stands by his music Levitt here on my right. Brad, Bitchy Tech Singletary looking at me. And Thunt on the Facebook Live, managing the audio right now. Now, missing tonight is Taco Mike, and Thunt actually made his very best contribution to the Alpha Quorum podcast and I know you're listening right now, Spurgeon, you're not going to know about this until right now. As you listen to this, we actually changed your name from Taco Mike
To Taco Mike. Taco spelled Talko.
Yes!
Taco Mike.
Taco. We need to change that.
Taco Mike. Yes!
You know what? Mike is MIC.
You know what's great about Mike?
Hey, that's so good.
Mike goes, and he starts running, and then he's like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. So
Taco Mike.
There we go, Taco Mike.
What are you trying to say? He talks too much?
Taco Mike is a great contributor to the Alpha Quorum podcast.
We miss you tonight, Mike.
And we miss you tonight. He's on the road. He's coming back up from his motorcycle trip with the Tom Brady of motocross. That was this weekend. So he's
Greg
coming back up
Jarvis
from-
or something like that. Or something.
Do we remember what his name was?
I don't remember.
If you're watching on Facebook Live and you know what the name is, go ahead and drop us a text. Hey, and also, since I've got your ears right now, so I've got a situation going on with my heart. And if you're listening to this, and if you have any experience dealing with AFib, so check this out, guys. On Thursday, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working, and all of a sudden I get like this headache. I get flushed, I get dizzy. I look down at my Apple Watch, and my heart is beating at over 200 beats per minute. It was like 205. Wow. Like 200, and I'm just sitting there at my desk, like doing nothing. And it took me 45 minutes to get it down to a regular rate. I laid down on the floor, I drank some water, I put my legs up, all the things you do to kind of get everything regulated. And it happened one more time on Thursday night. And then on Friday, if you look at from 8 in the morning until 6 at night, my heart rate was spiking up over 200 beats per minute, like every hour. Wow. Like all the time. Wow. So if you're listening to this and you've had any experience or you know somebody here in the Las Vegas area who deals with something like this, I'm in the market for a new cardiologist that can stop this, because they put me on another beta blocker and they'll put me back on blood thinners, but I'd rather deal with this. So if you've got any ideas, I'm okay. I'm obviously not dead. I'm here. Everything's fine. If you've got a doctor or a cardiologist or some other like natural treatment that you can recommend for this, I would appreciate it. You can reach me on Facebook at Alpha Quorum, or my Facebook links directly from Alpha Quorum. How does that work?
Yeah.
Follow on Facebook, like on Instagram. Are we on the Twitter?
You follow on Instagram.
You follow on Instagram and you like on Facebook.
You like our page through Facebook.
Okay. All right, I always get that wrong. Hey, we're getting out into the weeds. How long have we been going here?
10 minutes.
We've been going 10 minutes. Haven't even started talking yet, and that's without Taco Mike, spelled the new way.
That's right.
Not the old way. We are going to be lobbying Taco Mike during the week to change the spelling on his Instagram page to reflect Thunt's brilliant rewriting of the Taco Mike brand. That's it. So, but hey, listen, we gave each other homework before we left last week, and I tell you what, I'm going to be full disclosure here, since this is the Alpha Quorum and we are completely honest with one another here. I did not do my homework until I was pulling out of my driveway on the way here.
What?
I literally.
Did she listen to the podcast? Because we did the predictions.
Do you really think Mrs. Johnson listens to this podcast? I guarantee that she has listened to it. She's given me great feedback, but she's also smart enough to know that
she doesn't want to know what you say.
She does not want to know what's coming out of my mouth. Even though I stand by everything, every word that has been spoken on this podcast, I stand by 100%. She lives with me 100% of the time, so she knows what I'm capable of. So, plus, she listens to me 24 hours a day. I come hang out with you guys 3 hours a week. It's a nice break from hearing my stupid voice all the time.
So were you afraid to ask her, or did you just space
No,
it?
actually, I wasn't afraid to ask her. I actually, if there was going to be like if there was an emotional blunt force trauma, I wanted to have it as I was coming in to do the show, because I thought, well, that could make for some compelling, storytelling, some compelling podcasting. And to be honest with you, I know we predicted on the last show what we were going to say. It wasn't even on the list. It wasn't even, I think I said my follow-through was.
Yeah, follow-through was what you said.
Yeah, it wasn't even on the list.
Uh-oh.
So,
let's hear it.
Well, I'll read it to you.
Uh-oh.
I'll read you the list. She sent 5, by the way.
5?
Five.
Oh, wow.
5 items.
She's hoping you'll get to one of them. Maybe that's why she said 5.
Well, and here's
his follow-through sucks.
He'll get 20% there.
Exactly. She's giving me 5, so I work on 1.
You picked the easy one.
Listen, Mrs. Johnson has a master's degree. She's not a dummy, all right? She's not a dummy.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows exactly what she's dealing with here. So, so I want to put it in the proper context, because initially when I said, okay, what's one thing I should be working on right now that I'm not? And that was a really bad way to ask the question. Like, what's one thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the context of what we've been dealing with the last 4 days at our house, she was going to say, like, well, get your damn heart fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fix anything if you're dead. So then I went back through we have a group text that we're always dropping stuff on. Hey, and if you want to be a part of our group text, message us on Instagram. We're going to be starting a Slack page for the Quorum, and if you want to be a part of that, just message us on Instagram or Facebook. We've got great stuff that we're putting out there literally every day. I'm waking up to new insights, new experiences. We've got our text thread's been going now for a few months. It is pretty good. Like, there's some really, really solid insights on there. And we send funny videos, memes, the chicken thing. It's got to make it on there. I mean, that's the kind of, just think about what we talk about here on a Sunday and apply that to a text thread going 24/7. It's a lot of fun.
It's the unfiltered version.
It is. It's kind of what's happening in the moment. I know that Brad has to edit a lot of the stuff out of this. Not as much as we used to, though.
Right, we're
you,
better.
You
We're
edit.
much
You
better.
edit very little.
Yeah,
of what's
not much
said.
later.
So I said that, and she was really uncomfortable with the question. I said, come on, you got to think of one thing that I could change right now. She's like, she was really uncomfortable with the question. So then I went back to the text thread, and I copied and pasted this. Question for spouse. What could I change / work on that will help us have a more fulfilling relationship? Or what are some things that I can work on that gets in the way of us being emotionally connected? And this was her text she wrote back. She goes, I think you are great and love you.
Hey, all right.
Let's start by saying I love
Exactly. Let me strap on the gloves here before I punch you in the face. It wasn't a bare knuckle texting brawl, but like everything she said, like completely agree with 100%. The first thing she said, she goes, I need to be completely honest with her. And it's not so much what I say, it's a lot of times when we're dishonest with our spouses, don't you think it's the things we don't say, it's the stuff we leave out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you think? Because I wouldn't say I lie to my wife, but there are certain things I probably should tell her that I don't.
For instance,
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But I know I'm guilty of it. And if I think of something, I'll come back to it. But I think for her to put that up first, like number one, tells me that she knows when I'm holding back.
if I was going to go to any woman in my office that had that same thought or that same complaint, they would be saying emotional. That's what they would be saying. They want you to be more honest with them about how you're feeling. That's what women in my office would be saying. Right? Not that I want you to be honest about, the easy stuff, but instead of sitting there and pretending like nothing's wrong, like give it to me. I think they want
I do stonewall. I think I have a tendency to kind of get inside my own head and not tell her the truth. And I think that's unfortunate because I married this woman. I married this woman for a reason. I should be able to trust her with even the stuff that we talk about here. Yeah. When it's the four of us, I'm surprised, and we don't put this on the podcast. I know a lot of you are listening to this, and some of the feedback that we've gotten is saying, like, you guys go deep and you go raw. You should hear us when the mics are off.
Well, they will when I post this live.
So, we've gotten, me specifically, have gotten in trouble for things I've said on the Facebook Live that never made it to the podcast. So Jeremy, you're thinking that what she's meaning is more from an emotional point of view than...
Yeah, I remember, the way women's brains work is they like to talk. They like to work through things, and we don't. And so you being honest with your emotions with her and maybe even more vulnerable with her, we love that word around here, and we use it a lot, but I think maybe that's what she's asking for. If she, you could ask for more clarification on that. I'm sure she'd give it to you.
I will. I have at this point, I got no problems. Not asking her about it at this point doesn't mean the problem's not there. At least I'm aware of it now. So it's after I got divorced, it was like, oh, do I really want to check my credit? What's on there? You know what I'm saying?
I want to sing The Sounds of Silence right now. That was really depressing.
So good.
Hello, darkness.
The next one, being loyal without reservation. And I think what she means by that is when you're divorced and you've got kids, and I know, and this has been a struggle for me for as long as we've been married, feeling like I'm being pulled in two different directions. Being a divorced parent, and you know this, Brad, you've experienced it. Do you ever feel like you're getting pulled?
For sure. Oh.
And there's no
escape from it.
There's no... your number one loyalty has to be to your wife.
Yes,
you know that. That's why you know what I'm saying? But as the non-custodial parent, like I am, and I think you have 50-50 custody, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. But I know that has been a big strain on the marriage, in that I feel like I'm being pulled in two different directions. There's not a right. Sometimes there's there's good, better, and best. Sometimes it's all shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just have to. I have to pick. I got to pick the smallest pile. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
She gave me 5. Being a team player, I'm going to have to ask for clarification on that because I kind of thought I was, but apparently I'm not, which I'm fine not being good at it. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm not good at. I'm not good at hitting a golf ball either, apparently. So, and then this is the one that kind of stung the most, but it actually, she put it, how did she put it? Giving total submission of my heart. So I think what she means by that is, I don't know if I'm aware of it. I've had this conversation with her. I've had this conversation with you guys in the room when the mics are off. But it has been, I mean, we've been married for going on 9 years now, and I don't know if I've ever really been completely all in on the marriage. You know what I mean?
Wow,
and
that's a big deal.
And
what do you mean?
And it's not necessarily I don't love her and then that I'm not happy. I think it's the damage. If you're listening to this and you've been through divorce, you know what a violent sort of experience that is, and it infects every other relationship in your life. Wouldn't you agree that once you've gone through something like that, it's hard to see the world like you did before? Am I making sense there?
It changes you. For real.
I've seen it on my parents and with people I work with, but I haven't experienced it. But like I've witnessed that in other people. Absolutely.
And I don't even think it's conscious. You know what I'm saying? I think I think on some level your guard is always up, or you're fighting yourself. Not that my guard's up, but I'm constantly fighting myself to let my guard down. You're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to melt into that joy and what could exist in that marriage. That term foreboding joy that I love.
Yeah, you sent me. I haven't watched it yet, but you sent me a video about foreboding joy, and there's 2 words in that. I don't know what foreboding means. But it's interesting to me, and I will watch the video. In fact, maybe I'll make Tyler hold the phone up so I can watch it while I'm driving home tonight. Would that get me out of friend jail?
We're getting there.
All right, cool.
You're on probation.
All right, cool.
Throw some Taco Bell in there, you might be all right.
Ooh, yeah.
But what do you mean by that? Foreboding joy.
Foreboding joy is just I think you used the right term there.
You know, actually, you know what? Wait. Let's wait on that. Let's wait on foreboding joy. Let's hold off on that because I want.
Talking about.
Let's talk about what everybody else was on their list.
So you know.
Okay, no, that's fine.
We could do 2 episodes. You're saying?
No. Let's keep all this in.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Don't cut it out of the final episode. That's fine. But let's go around and have everybody kind of go through their list, and then we can hit that.
If we're not meeting next week, what if we do make them separate, even if they're shorter? You know what I mean?
That's
like
cool.
Our 5 things or a few things that.
Yeah, we just call the episode 1 is return to report, and then episode 2.
I don't have a wife, so you guys go ahead.
Well, did you do it? Because
you're
part of the title and everything. What our wives and Tyler's mom thought of.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
did you do feedback? You didn't get any feedback.
I haven't seen my mom this weekend.
Can we call her?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be.
I think she's.
I think we should call her.
Let's call Tyler's mom. I've got her on speed dial. We
No, you
text
don't.
all the time.
No.
Mostly about you.
No. No.
So anyway, yeah, those were my things right there. That's what she said, and I got to be honest with you, it wasn't as much of an emotional gut punch as I thought it was going to be, but
Because it came from a good place.
well, it came from a good place, but also I think I agree with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I know Mike, and he's not here today, but I know that on the text this week when we were talking about this, it sounded to me like 1 or 2 of his really kind of caught him from left field, kind of surprised him, but none of them. But self-awareness is not anything I've ever lacked. So, what was yours, Jeremy?
So I think I was like 1.5 on my prediction. So my wife brought up taking care of myself, finding more balance, right, which included, taking care of my body. Number 2 was And this one, like, it stung, but it only stung because I knew it was true. The last two stung, but it's because I knew there were things I needed to work on, and they just weren't in my radar, and I wasn't dealing with them. So the second one was my wife is really good at encouraging the family to do the things, the routines, the spiritual things that are important to us, the prayers, the scripture study, and tying back to number one, because my balance is off a little bit, I tend to rush those things, and they seem less important to me, to the kids, even though they're not less important to me, because I'm just like, let's just read like 5 verses and be done, or I seem really irritated.
How old are your kids again?
8 and 13.
Okay.
And so, like,
there's a big difference between a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old. You know, I mean, finding the balance between.
Yeah, but my 8-year-old actually kind of likes to read this. I mean, the kid's reading probably at a 7th or 8th grade level. Like,
I still read the ones with the pictures.
So he likes to read.
Noah builds an ark.
He likes to read it, and he likes to read it together, and he gets stuff out of it, and he's like super insightful about it, like probably way more than I was at his age. So she asked me to just be more involved and be more present in those things, because of, she doesn't doubt, where I stand on things, but she's just, what example.
So you're telling me that you do it because it's a box to check.
It's a box to check in that moment. Now, personally, it's not a box to check. I do it much differently. But to do it at the end of the night, when, like, literally I come home some nights, probably 75% of the nights, I come home, I walk through the door, and it's time to do that routine. No decompression time, nothing. And I appreciate that. I don't want to, delay. I want to get the kids to bed so I can spend some time with my wife and, watch a show and just really hang out. That's my decompression. But so I get it. What is it? An extra 5 minutes for me to really be present in that and involved. So I really got that one.
So, and what was the third one?
Third one was probably stung the most. She wants me to really look at and focus on the way I speak to her. So apparently I have a tone sometimes.
What you talking about?
And the tone is, well, kind of like that. The tone is very condescending.
But I kind of get that you talk that way to everybody, because I've always felt like you were condescending to me too. I think that's just the way you talk, Jeremy.
I try to tell her, I'm like, this is just how I operate, but it's not meaning to be condescending, but when she doesn't know something and I'm explaining it to her, I guess I come across off.
It's like, excuse me, let me turn down my classical music so that I can hear what you're... I want to be present in this moment.
Tchaikovsky's getting in the
way. Let me turn down my classical music so that I can talk to you properly.
Exactly. So I guess I have a tone with how I do it. My body language expresses it. And so these are all just these non-conscious things that I need to be more aware of. Because in all reality and honesty, when she points it out to me, wasn't my intention, wasn't trying to go there, but it makes her feel really...
I'm going to tell you something, Jeremy, and this is just me vibing in the moment.
Let's do it.
But sometimes when you're here... and you're always here, and you always contribute, and you're always awesome, but I get the vibe that you cannot wait to leave. Like, you're on to the next thing.
Well, that's partly ADHD, but...
But what I'm saying is, and the only reason I'm saying it is because maybe your wife picks up on the same thing. You're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, like what you've got to do.
You are 100% right
what you need to do. I should...
My brain...
You should do this. That's
I should do it. You guys.
You are 100% right. My brain works way faster than everything else.
So you're already thinking, we're sitting here having the podcast, and we're having a great conversation.
And I'm at home.
I'm still in 30 minutes ago.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking about tomorrow morning, like I've got to be at work at 9, and I'm working till 7. Like my brain, that's just kind of. And so when my wife talks to me, sometimes like I don't know if this helps me as a therapist or not, but people come in and talk to me, and I feel like maybe it's a skill or a gift. It doesn't take long for me to kind of get to the crux of what's going on. And we can move very quickly after that. And the same kind of thing happens with my wife. Is she'll say something, and I automatically, I've got the fix in my head. I know where it needs to go. I know how to fix it, but that's not what she needs. That's not what she wants.
Yeah, women don't want us to fix them.
But I've got it fixed within 1.5 seconds, and I'm telling her about it. So, something for me to work on.
I think it's kind of funny that a therapist that spends 10 hours a day telling men, don't try and fix this, immediately gets home and he's trying to let me get out my tool belt and fix my wife.
I know how it all works. Just the practice at home. I mean, it takes practice is the right word. It takes effort. It's not just because I know it doesn't mean it happens.
Well, no, and you've been listening to people for 10 hours. The last thing you want to do is go home and listen to more
my
people.
empathy is broke when I get home, and
Exactly.
I recognize that.
Exactly.
I just have a hard time giving a crap about anything.
So here's my question. What are we doing? I mean, we'll have to come back around. And make sure you ask me this question when we come around to Thunt and we talk about his mom. But what are we going to do to fix that this week? I mean, what's on the...
So I've already started working on being more conscious about how I speak to her. And checking myself, and I don't know if she's noticed that or not yet, or if there hasn't been opportunity yet. But I feel like I'm doing a good job. As far as
what have you changed specifically?
Like I'm trying just to be more positive in how I talk to her about things. Like I'm just trying, because most of what she's talking to me about is my tone and my cadence and how I'm speaking to her, not the content. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to work really hard on that and just trying to sound more positive.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 36.
Well, how old's your wife?
34, 35.
Okay. All right.
She's 84, so she's 34. Okay. So, yeah, well, and then just being more present with the kids. That's
it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Brad?
So I was also, I don't know, some of it I guess.
If you need to go to the bathroom right now, now's a good chance.
Brad, I asked for 500 things.
Remember in the old days when we had to text, like, with the keys, and then you would get the text was like 5 texts long. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what you got? Was
no, well, what does it mean when there's a bunch of asterisks in the words? What does that mean?
Asterisks in the.
That's like swearing.
Yeah, is that?
So there were a few things here that kind of shocked me a little bit. But the first one was she put, okay, so 3 things to work on. There are 3 bullet points here: selfish behaviors, better handling of family's finances. Ooh. And then she says, be the man of this house. Man is all capital letters. Take out the trash every Thursday, fix the broken things. And this one I can't say. But basically, and then she ends with, you aren't my brother, you're my husband.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah,
that's deep.
So first of all, I asked for clarification on the selfish behaviors, and I'll go into that here in a minute. And then finances, we kind of talked about. Basically, I've had with my business, I switched this past fall from sole proprietor to an LLC, and it kind of messed up some of my billing, and so income has been off a little bit. But then when she says take care of the trash, I thought I was like Bob Vila, like Tim the Toolman. I thought I was fixing things, but she says fix the broken things. The trash, I thought I had improved on that too. So some of this was, but then I asked for clarification. Let me go to, I asked for, can you be more specific? And she's, on the selfish behavior, she says, thinking that somehow your time is more valuable than mine. We talked about that last week, like somehow what I'm doing is more important, which isn't true. She said she felt like I just couldn't be bothered with some things, and that was kind of off-putting.
I mean, do you feel like she's got a...
Well, I'm probably talking about with the kids and stuff, and so one of the things I said I wanted to work on was my time, and I've already done this on my template on my scheduler that I do online scheduling for my clients, and so I've actually shortened it so I can be home more days, more evenings. So I'm gonna condense my work schedule a little bit. But she said, I feel like I need to have a nanny because you just simply can't be bothered. I heard a little bit.
Yeah, I can't get you on the phone though during the week, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm literally working. I mean,
I know. I've talked to you on the phone at 9:00 at night, and you're walking into your last session. How do you listen to people and their stupid problems for 12 hours a day?
I don't know. It's a gift and a curse, I guess. I don't know. It's just
that's why
easy for me.
That's what I can't. That's why I can't do what you and Jeremy do, because I get to like session 4 of the day, look them straight in the eyes, and go, "Get some real problems."
But that's standard. Most therapists work 20 to 25 hours a week, and that is it. That's all they can handle.
Yeah, 30,
really,
30
me
a
and
week.
Brad are pushing 40 to 50.
Yeah, I've hit 50 a couple times.
Really, 20 to 20. So that's
full load is considered no more than 30 in the therapist
really,
world, and not working Fridays. Like just
really,
yeah.
And is it just because you can't?
I'll do 13 sessions in one day. Most people max at 6 a day or something like that.
What are you doing a day?
At max, I've done 12.
Wow, good for you.
So she's talking about time, and she says that I don't fully realize what she does every day and the lengths that she goes to push herself to make sure the family has everything. And she says the things that money doesn't buy, the things that money don't buy.
Ooh, that's good feedback, Brad.
Yeah.
That's
The
good
hard
feedback.
labors of the home. You throw your dirty socks on the floor by the bed every day for 9 years. I won't read the next one. But so those are selfish behaviors. So take off my socks at night because she keeps it like 60 degrees in our house. So I have to keep my socks on to the last minute. Take them off, put them by the bed, forget to pick them up in the morning. And so those little things like that, I don't think they're extreme, but to her,
well,
she's
wait
always
a second
picking
here. But wait a second. But they are to her. It was important enough to her to put her in the text.
I mean, I felt like I was open enough, and she let me have it with all those asterisks.
So let me ask you this.
And capitalized words.
Where are your socks right now at home?
They're in the basket.
Attaboy.
Good man.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
It sounded like she was telling you, like we talked about last week, just to tie that in, like she values you happy at home rather than she values the emotional security over the financial security.
Yeah.
Like she told you that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna work. It's gonna come out to be like so Monday and Thursday night I'll be working late, but then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Friday nights
Be home.
earlier.
That's
and,
cool.
Hoping we can also condense our podcast recording to every other week, and that'll give me another Sunday night or two a month. So
Yeah, I just so the audience knows, we're toying with the idea of we've been meeting every Sunday now for a couple 3 months now, and as much as we enjoy it, our families need us home, and so I think the schedule's going to be. We're still going to put out content. You're still going to be getting 2, 3, 4 episodes a week. Some will be longer, some will be shorter, but you will still be putting it out there. But we're only going to be recording probably 2 Sundays a month. I mean, the interviews, we have some interviews lined up for next year, so that could kind of fill in some of those gaps. But all right, Thunt, how about you?
So, I don't have a spouse to ask, for those who don't know.
No, you mentioned it 10 minutes ago, so
Well, in case somebody just tuned in.
you're just tuning in now. Thunt's not married, never
We just
been
need
married.
to queue up Simon and Garfunkel's Sounds of Silence every time Thunt brings that up and just play like 5 seconds of it.
Just in the background.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I keep hearing Roberta Flack sing Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down.
oh my gosh. Keep going.
I don't know the rest of the words.
It was
I will say that, though, sometimes when I hear Roberta Flack's version of I cry a little bit, just a little bit. So it's Raining Men. Like, it's not that.
who was that? Is that Gloria Gaynor? Who was that? It's Raining Man. Who sang that? Who was that?
That was, I don't know. I
that's
made
funny.
that up for the bit.
Oh.
We thought that was real.
No, it's okay. I'm going to tell you right now. That's a recycled bit. You didn't know that you were in a recycled bit that I had recycled that bit from back when I was doing the radio show 10 years ago.
Oh.
So that idea came up. Wait a second here. It's 2 tons of fun.
2 tons of fun.
2 tons of fun. The Weather Girls.
The Weather Girl.
The Weather Girls.
It's Raining Men.
It's Raining Men. So go ahead and add that to your gay playlist, listeners out there. It's Raining Men. So, all right, Tyler, back to you, Thunt.
So I ended up just asking, a really good friend of mine, like, okay, what are things that I do that I need to change that would make my, friendship better, my relationship with people better.
Was this a man friend or a woman friend?
No, it's a guy friend.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing that I got back was that I overthink things a lot. I'm a big overthinker. Like, when I don't get a text back for a day or two, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. They hate me. And I really overthink things. And so that's one thing that I really need to fix.
Let me ask you this. If somebody texts you and you don't text them back for a couple of days, what does that mean?
That means I was busy.
It's the worst thing to a millennial, being left on red. They can't. It's like their brains explode and they want to die.
Really?
I hear it all the time from the kids I work with.
So if
This girl left me on red, or my friends left me on red. That must mean they don't
what
want
does
to hang
that
out.
mean, left on red?
Like an unread message.
Oh,
like,
unread, not
yeah.
on-read.
Right.
Okay.
Well, because when you on some of those phones, it sends read receipts, right? You look at it, and it says, "Oh,
Yeah,
I know the person read it."
I
but
turn
then
that off on my phone.
It's off on mine.
I do not want people knowing that I read it and did not respond. Like, oh no, I didn't check my text. And I'm really bad at checking my text messages.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I put my phone down at 7 or 8 o'clock sometimes at night, and I don't look back at it until the morning.
But it's not just the text messages with me. It's even at work, I'll overthink things. Like, oh, they asked me to come into the office. I'm in trouble. But no, they were just like, hey, how's things going? I just have a problem with overthinking. And so I'm, trying to work that out.
Sounds like a little bit of anxiety, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. How's your kava habit? I noticed you haven't been bringing it to the. It's probably because I was falling asleep on air, but
Oh yeah, no, those are the episodes where we didn't talk much.
no.
No, the kava's.
You still
We need to
drink it
get
every-
sponsored by
every now and
Kava. We need to work on that.
I bought some on Amazon and sent it to my house, and Mrs. Johnson was like, "Well, have you looked at what this is going to do to your heart?"
Oh yeah, you got an extra
And
worry
for a
there
second
with
there, I
that.
was like, I don't give a crap what it does to my heart. I feel awesome, like a damn junkie. Like honestly, like a junkie. Like I don't care if I die in my sleep. Right now, I feel amazing. And I drank all of it in. I don't know if this is good or not, but I drank all of it in about 5 or 6 days.
Wow.
So is that?
I've still got half of my bag.
Are you serious?
So,
I might have a kava problem. So I might be a kava junkie.
I drank some kava before the Ward Christmas party just to kind of chill myself out because
Oh, yeah.
too many things going on at once and it just shuts me down, and that helped
Right.
out a ton. But maybe once a week.
That's cool.
Cool.
All right, so Tyler, what are you going to do what are we going to do? Because we're gonna hold you accountable on this thing. We're going to have a return and report here next week. Where what are we going to do to stop Excuse me, you need a burp button. What are we going to do to get you to stop overthinking things?
See, that's what I don't know, and I'm going to overthink that I
How
need to work on my overthinking.
You're gonna overthink how to stop overthinking.
You know what
Right.
I do? You know what I do? Because we all feel that anxiety when we're waiting for a response from somebody and we're not getting it. I do what you just said. Like, you know what? They're probably busy. People don't think about us. We don't think about others that much because we're busy thinking about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there are people that roll out of the rack every morning and go, "I'm going to get even with Derik Johnson today. That guy wrecked my life."
Yeah, I'll give you something if you wanna something I share with
Okay.
my clients. So I call this the rule of thumb, and that is, if you think that they don't like you, maybe that's true. All right, we'll say maybe they don't like you, they didn't respond or whatever the negative thing is you're thinking. Let's let that be a possibility because it might be true. But then think of 4 other reasons. They're sick, they didn't get the message, their phone's dead, whatever. Give yourself the one negative thing on your thumb, and with the other fingers, you're just going to count 4 other reasons that this may be happening. And so you give yourself some other possibilities about why this is happening, and not just sold on that one idea.
All right,
Make sense?
I like that.
And so what if they don't like you? Half the time you don't like me, Tyler, and we're friends.
Well, you could say we're friends.
See? Tyler doesn't like me.
He just needs to get it
But
right
yeah,
home.
no, listen,
tonight.
I
After
just
that,
had a
it's
breakthrough.
You're
over.
just my ride tonight.
Listen, I just had a breakthrough. Tyler doesn't like me, and I don't think I care. So I just had a breakthrough right there. Like, just right now in this podcast, it just occurred to me that Tyler being...
Dude, you just cursed his overthinking. He's not going to sleep tonight. You got to work tomorrow?
Yes.
All
Wake
right,
up at
so
3 a.m.
all right, so you're gonna work on that this week. Now, Brad, what are you doing this week to work on? Just break it down to a couple of things. I want to make sure.
Just being more observant at home, like looking around.
Well,
looking at
obviously,
things.
there's some shit you got to fix at home too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that is. I think I'm all buttoned up right now, but just looking like today I noticed that my bathroom sink, I had all my stuff up there, and I had to put a bunch of stuff under the cabinet and in the drawers, and just kind of clear off my sink. So I'm just trying to be more observant of what's happening here. What does this look like? What does she think of it? I always tell my kids when they need to clean their room, I call it do it Kara clean. My wife's name is Kara. Mm-hmm. And so you need to clean your room Kara clean. I need to do my stuff Kara clean, like the way she would clean it. That's something that is important to her, is keeping things tidy.
Jeremy?
really paying attention to how I speak. I almost feel like I need to record myself.
Ooh, there's an episode right there.
And
Like
play it back.
we embed somebody with Jeremy's house, like, Jeremy, you're talking down to her again. You're talking down to Mrs. Levitt
Put
again.
like a shock collar on him from the dog
I
trainer.
got one.
Remote control that
You
just
do have a
zaps you.
shock collar?
Well, it's like a Sonic. It doesn't actually shock.
I had a roommate in college. This is a true story. Mike Sharapata. I had a roommate in college who he had a Cocker Spaniel dog. This is the coolest dog. It's a Cocker Spaniel named Thrasher, and he lived with us. And this dog Thrasher was like a big, like barker. And he bought one of those shock collars. You know, every time the dog would bark, it would shock him. So one night we were sitting around in the house that I lived in, and he put the collar on himself and barked and shocked the hell out of him. So it's pretty cool. So I still think, that was 20 years ago, and I still think about it. It's still funny to me. So, hey, listen, guys, and then what am I going to do? What do you think I should, I got to be honest with you, I think the one thing,
I think you need more feedback. I think you need more clarity about what she
I don't
means by
know.
some
I
of
think
that.
I think I connect. Like I get like everything that she said to me. I totally agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't anything in there where I was thinking, oh, this woman's crazy, like the rest of them. Like no. I thought everything was right on the money. The one that bothers me the most, though, is her feeling like I'm not all the way in. That bothers me, and I think, and it bothers me because I know she's right.
Dang.
You know, so I mean, when you're working with your clients,
All I got to do is take the trash out. You got some big stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't have 6 boys. You know what I'm saying? Our house is pretty quiet. I went to dinner at my sister-in-law's house today, and they're like your house. They have so many kids. I don't even know how many kids they have. The kids are running around and yelling and playing, and they're being kids. And I look at my brother-in-law, and I said, is it always this loud and insane at your house? It's probably totally normal, but I'm just, the crusty old guy that's only got one kid at home, and I'm constantly telling her to shut the hell up. So,
You better start prepaying Brad for sessions for your daughter.
Exactly.
Now.
You've got a travel budget. I've got my kids' future therapy fund. I'm dropping money into every once in a while. But how would you suggest, Jeremy, how do I fix that problem because I know she's right. I absolutely know she's right. I do, on some level, know that I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. How do I fix that?
So, really got to understand that concept of foreboding joy and what it really means.
And that's a whole other episode. Are we going to handle that in the next episode?
I think we should probably. That's a lot.
All right. So tell you what. Why don't we do this? Why don't we break now? It's a good episode. Where are we at time-wise, Brad?
45 minutes.
So 41 minutes after we take all the stuff about Tyler's mom. Okay. So why don't we call that? Why don't we call that an episode for tonight? Taco Mike. The best hashtag we came up with this episode is hashtag Taco Mike. I clicked on Dick Hettery hashtag on Facebook. Do not click on hashtag Dick Hettery. Do not click on that hashtag. Anyway, hey, this is Derik Husband Jail Johnson. Jeremy, I stand by my music. Levitt, Thunt, and Brad Bidgetech Singletary. This is Alpha Quorum episode. What was this? Episode 23? 23. And that's a wrap.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alpha Quorum podcast. While we talk about real life and real life issues, we're really just entertaining you and hoping you find some value out of what we're saying. And again, if you need someone to talk to, please look for a professional in your area or contact us so we can help you find one yourself.
Gentlemen, you are the Alpha, and this is the Alpha Quorum.
All right, are we ready to go? Intro?
I think so, yeah.
How do we sound?
Yes.
Sounds good?
Wait, everybody go around one time.
Sounding good. How's it going?
Chuck Berry's You Know What.
Gosh, Chuck Berry is disgusting.
Chuck Berry, you gross.
We're live. Watch your mouth.
I did not say bunghole. I did not.
He didn't.
I did not say bunghole. At least not in reference to Chuck Berry. I did not.
Do not Google it.
I do not. Whatever you do.